All right. Welcome to the first episode of the Dotted Line podcast. I'm grateful. I'm happy. I'm honored to be able to bring you this product. Really, because what use is a lesson without it being taught. And I have a lot of lessons and a lot of knowledge to, um, you know, give out. And I just hope that something is said or heard that can help others through things that you guys are experiencing, whether it's financial, spiritual, physical, mental, whatever the case may be, because we are all under an ailment of something. It may not be physical, may not be financial, but we're under some type of scrutiny, some type of strain, and I just hope that something is said that can help others kind of get through the times that they are in. Yeah, to kind of introduce you to like the show initially. So each episode is just going to be different topics that I just highlight throughout the the timeline of the video as I'm editing, so you guys can fast forward and stuff of that nature to certain topics you want to hear first type shit. But pretty much different topics each episode, and just trying to get my point of view, because that's why I called it the dotted line, because it's framing that point of view where he stands, where the line that he's on the spectrum. I try to be as level headed and unbiased as possible, but in the midst of doing that, I'm picking a side. You know, you know. So yeah, that's kind of like the gist of like the show, and hopefully it kind of gets to a point to where I'm having guests on and stuff of that nature, because I do want to hear other people's perspective of the of the topics that I choose to talk about throughout that day. So yeah, I'm excited to just kick things off. So without further ado, we gonna get into these topics. So the topics for today are 9 to 5 working, first person and third person perspective, mental health, the current state of the world. Also each something that's a given is going to be always be a sports topic. So whether it's basketball, football, whatever, it's always going to be a sports topic. Um, every episode, because I'm a sports guy. I'm a diehard Lakers fan. So current state of the NBA, because Lakers fan. Family dynamics, and would you rather be respected or feared? But yeah, these are some very good topics. So to kick things off, we're gonna start with 9 to 5. Um, it ain't what it used to be. It ain't what it used to be. Um, it's not. It's not. 9 to 5s are almost like the sky hook in basketball. Like, is this not what it used to be? You don't really see 9 to 5s really doing what it's supposed to do now. It's certain people in different generations and different eras that have been in said job for X amount of years, and they probably listening, seeing this like, bro, I'm been at my job for X amount of years. I always had a great experience. Now, may not be referring to you guys, but as far as my era or my age bracket from the let's just say let's just say 16 through 30. Anybody in that spectrum, yeah, we're we're definitely struggling. We're definitely struggling as far as this having to do what it's supposed to do, because about standard 50 or so years ago, which is a very long time, you were able to sustain a house. It can have one income. The man can um be a welder, line assembly worker at Ford, or a GM, different plants, GE and stuff. You can hold down a fort. You can have the wife stay at home and take care of the kids. That's why those roles were designated. Because I'm guessing, of course I'm only 27, but to kind of make it make sense as far as what was kind of the time period, shit was more stable. Shit was more um ec- economically friendly. You know, America has never been great, so that's fake news. But as far as this, um, stuff was more sustainable. Like that's the key word about 9 to 5. You were able to work longer hours, get fair pay, and this and the third, and be able to sustain a living. Fast forward to 2024, where we're currently at on this timeline. That's not the case for my demographic, for my age, because we're having to work X amount of jobs to make a monthly balanced income. That to like me, um, it kind of is an oxymoron, or kind of is kind of like futile, because you know even though everybody in this 18 to 30 bracket don't have children, I'm one of the people who have it. So you telling me that I have to take time away from being a father, or take time away from being a husband, because I'm also a husband. Those are my first and foremost priority, the top priority. I have to take away from our family time, building our family dynamic, and you know go and work not just one job, because one job's a gift, but work two jobs, and some people even three jobs, just to make a monthly sustainable balance, so that everything makes sense. Now, it's one thing to have a hustle, because you definitely need multiple hustles. Definitely a lot of ways to make money. I don't feel like all these jobs require you to, be able to, or hustles need to require you to be there physically. You can make money remotely. You can make money doing a multitude of ways, and that's why I say I actually more around, because in this era, is so many ways to make money. The social media era, the old clock in clock out 9 to 5 era, motherfuckers doing illegal shit, the OnlyFans, all it's so many different ways to make revenue. But my whole thing, the best way to make revenue is to make legal revenue, because eventually the illegal revenue is gonna, for one, you're taking too many chances. You can't really do it comfortably. If you hustling, or if you doing the scamming, or this that, and the third shit like that, you're watching your back. And even as they say, 10 years down the line, you think coast clear, that's when they kick in the door, when like you least suspect it. Because the PPP loan, the kind of for next year, for nego your taxes, shit like that, that's going to catch up to you. So kind of like my perspective on like that shit is this. I mean, with the 9 to 5s, I would kind of just say, do what you love doing. This is something that I love doing, as far as just speaking, and just trying to help others, because I would, as cliche as it sounds, but it's definitely some truth to it. We're all in this together, for real. And I'm not saying it from a perspective of, um, you know, we're all experiencing the same verbatim trauma and situations, but damn near. So the relatability factor is very important. But to kind of pivot from the 9 to 5 to the next topic, my bottom line is 9 to 5s probably in the next decade is going to be viewed as obsolete. And I know it's gonna always be a need to make money uh, in that realm of clocking in, but eventually, because of the chokehold and the capitalism that's going on and that this country was founded on, you can't be mad at like that principle, because it's been so redundant and it's so prevalent in the scheme of how this country of America is ran. So I want, of course, you can be mad at like you know you're being a you're being a victim of it. You're being exploited at the expense of that. But it's been so obvious. It's been, ain't no hiding it. There's no guesswork here. You see what's going on, and just do what you love doing. Like if you go to work, go to work. That's cool to to make ends meet. But something that I had to learn and that God put in my perspective is you're gonna have seasons where you're doing everything right financially as far as this. I'm not talking about like where it's endless amount of revenue coming in. But every day that you're scheduled, you're working, you're not calling off, you're doing your job as extraordinary as possible. You're not getting more money. You're behind on bills. Um, and you feel like all hell is breaking loose. That's going to be said. These said things are going to be something that you're going to experience until you're able to have multiple hustles, meaning um, having multiple sources of income without taking time away from what's really important, building your home base, because you can only do so much um, when you're not um, around your family. You can only do so much, So if you're always working, somebody's taking a hit on that because your presence is a present. So to kind of conclude that topic, um, work as long as you possibly can for somebody, but in the same breath, I'm not saying work is like just 30 years because again that's going to be obsolete. But work as long as you possibly can for somebody until you're able to do what you love doing, and every day just hit it in some capacity. I know every day you're gonna be tired from working, but hit it in some aspect of like, okay, I'm gonna write this verse. I'm gonna cook this meal that because I'm trying to be a chef. I'm gonna cook this certain meal I seen on Pinterest or TikTok. All these said things. Do these things gradually, and over time you look up. Damn, okay, I'm finally where I envision myself being because everybody has a calling on on a life that God has given them. So I never want you to feel as if like, oh, this is I'm gonna always be this for said years. If you want that for your life, by all means. But in the same sense, is this is other is a deeper meaning than just clocking in, clocking out, because that shit would like consume. But to kind of pivot, like for real this time, do what you have to do until you're able to do what you want to do. Because 9 to 5s are becoming obsolete. Okay, next topic. I'm gonna go with family dynamic. So as I'm going through these, I'm gonna start deleting them so that I don't be like, okay, well, yeah. So let's go to family dynamics. To kind of pivot from 9 to 5 to family dynamics. Now, every culture is different. Everybody view families differently. It's certain cultures that family is everything to them, and certain cultures family is just something to them. But everybody have their own family dynamics. Whether it's culture based or case by case based, family by family based type shit. But family dynamics in this era again with how like I mentioned about the 9 to 5, it's extremely important. Family dynamic is really important, and feel like family, you as you get older you start to see certain things. Because when I was younger, as I um as I have grown into a man, I have learned that I missed a lot of things that were in my face, but you got to factor in perspective. As you're getting older, your perspective of the world changes. So when I was younger, um, all these things that were going on, whether it's family events or holidays, whatever the case may be, it was like going on vacation because you're around people um who love you. It's food, it's laughter, it's a lot of things that you just will remember forever going on. And as you get older, and your family members get older, and these things start to kind of fade away because maybe like Big Mama passed, or Big Big Mama ain't what she used to be. So the family gatherings kind of stop, or TT not trying to cook no more, or just different things that kind of happen that kind of pushes what you used to, be accustomed to, just out the realm of possibility or out your life completely. And I feel like where family dynamics is the most important is because of the fact being like when these things start to happen, like holding your last name intact through these things, because these things really can just unravel a family. When you're not doing certain things, when you kind of, again, to go back to as grow, as far as this seeing things differently, you may not, get, as when you were younger, you may not have known why this family member stopped coming around, and then you found out, oh, they didn't did said things like, oh, like this was Unc, this was Cuzzo, like, but now you kind of see like a different perspective of them, or you didn't know why Unc always drank. He was always drunk, and then when you got older, and maybe he didn't experience different things throughout life as well, and now you kind of on the on a different headspace. You're like, okay, Unc, I kind of get why. Having these conversations with family to kind of build back up different things as you get older, and you kind of see things differently, um, can strengthen your family dynamics, and can kind of really help you through different situations, because family to me is definitely everything. But I would say this about that: having the right family around you, because that's because we blood don't make us family. Being active in your family, being respectful over your family, being making your family feel welcome at all times, showing family the utmost respect and love is the highest vibration of a family dynamic, because hard times are a given. I don't care who you are. No matter if you're watching this and you're sitting on a yacht. I don't care if you're watching this, you're sitting on a cot, or you're sitting in a tent, or you sitting in a Rolls Royce with tents. No matter what um side of the coin, what side of the track that you're on, as far as this, your perspective, having a good family dynamic is extremely important. I don't care who you are, how much money you got, because money, we all know, it come and go. You can't take it to the next side um of this thing, because it's definitely another side to this thing called life. So um having a good family dynamic, to kind of pivot to the next topic, is extremely important. And I would encourage you to, if you're in the realm of fixing family dynamics, if it's fixable. Now, a lot of things are not fixable. Certain conversations, you can have conversations all day long, and um, may not fix things. But if as long as you put forth the attempt, you can live with the results. So hopefully something was said in this topic that, what, maybe I should call my sister. Maybe I should call my mom. Maybe I should call my brother. Because in order to move forward with certain people that you want, as far as family goes, to be in your life, you have to establish boundaries. Hey, let's not say this, that, and third. Hey, let's be more active in each other's life. Hey, if you're in a need of anything, money, place to stay, a prayer, a kind word, hit my phone. I don't care what time it is. If I'm asleep, as soon as I see that you call me, I'm gonna hit you right back. Building those family dynamics. If you can have those conversations after you watch this video, I would encourage you to make those phone calls to kind of get that family dynamic to where it needs to be, if possible. I'm not saying that, you might be like, man, fuck my mama. Okay, but at least you kind of, got the thought on your train of thought. So that's how I feel about family dynamics. So moving on to the next topic. Got that out the way. All right, let's kind of switch things up. Let's go to um you know the current state of the NBA. You know, so again, diehard Lakers fan. I'm probably not gonna spend too much time on this topic, but to kind of break up the TED talk. Let's talk about sports for like a few minutes. But yeah, I kind of feel like, and I'm not the only person that probably feels like this about basketball right now. Is is getting more entertainment based, a lot more entertainment based. It's kind of like it's scripted. I know somebody would be like, nah, man, nah, it can't be scripted. It's too many factors involved. Okay, I feel like it's more factors involved to rig it or to script it than those who are preventing from happening. And again, it's not gonna stop me from watching it because I love the game of basketball. So it's like finding out like your favorite rapper don't write his raps. Damn, may have to take him out my top 5, but hey, he still got fucking classes. He still got hits. So you kind of can not take that away from him. You kind of can respect whoever wrote they music more. You kind of take that half of what you thought that they were and kind of put that half that you kind of subtracted onto said writer and go from there. But yeah, that's kind of how like I feel about basketball and this. Then they're all sports lately, but especially basketball because that's the one sport I watch a ton of. Even like because as I'm filming this, the All Star Game 2024 was yesterday, and teams getting 200 scoring 200 points is crazy. You just here to see offense. And I'm a defensive minded guy as far as basketball goes. If you have ever played me on 2K, you know how intense I am as far as like learning the nuances of defense. If I can stop you from scoring, you're 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 done. Like as far as this my son. Yeah, he's a but yeah, if I can stop you from like scoring, you're gonna want to quit the game. If you keep having miss and turnover, and I'm limiting you to one possession, you're gonna quit. So but yeah, just as far as is very much offensive based. As far as this, who's like as far as this scoring so many points. You see a motherfuckers drop 70 and 60 and 50 points like it's nothing because it's just I get offensively as this is probably the best era. Hence why is going so much towards um premiering the offense. But I just feel as if this it like I feel like the game is missing balance, because it shouldn't be motherfuckers dropping 70. Like get the ball out his hands. Like you feel me? Like get the ball out his hands. But again, like I think KG was if you don't know who KG is, Kevin Garnett, was interviewing Adam Silver, the commissioner of the NBA, and KG was saying like um like talking about different eras and the hand checking and woo woo. Because he was kind of hinting to like, man, this is a crazy era of scorers, and the athlete of today is crazy, woo woo. And Adam Silver was like, in the nutshell, he didn't say it verbatim like this, but in a nutshell, he was pretty much saying, "Hey, motherfuckers paying to see offense, so we gon' put that product out. We gonna premiere that more. So it is what it is. But I definitely feel like superstar fouls have always existed, but it's more to that. It's more like we gon' even with like my Lakers, like I've seen them to where we shooting fucking down there 40 free throws and out of 10 you shoot 5. Hey, I'm a Lakers fan. Hey, okay, it is what it is, but it's something to be said because it's not just happens like every blue moon per se. It's like it may be pivotal games where like we shooting 40 fucking free throws. Okay, I mean I'm not gonna complain about it because again this is like I'm a diehard fan, but from a neutral standpoint, I can see how motherfuckers could be like, yeah, that shit crazy. Like, how the fuck is that happening? But, yeah, like I just feel like yeah, it's very offensive minded. Um, but since my boy Kobe retired and since passed, I have not really had like a player that um I just like because when Kobe played, I'm talking about must see TV. This is back when I was heavy on social, like even heavier on social media because I was in high school and I was years away from being married and being a father, so I was really like I was hitting that really hard pause as far as this just really being in the sense of just like man like whatever's going on in Lakerland or whatever Kobe's doing, like I'm following it. And I have yet even Brian, like when like Brian, like I respect Brian as far as this everything that he has been I wouldn't say in charge of, but the responsibility given to him since what like eighth since since damn near he hit puberty is crazy. And the fact that he over exceeded those expectations have nothing but respect for what he has done as as a man and what he has done for like the NBA. So you have to if you don't care much about him, you have to respect him because I mean that's just crazy to just be able to just sustain greatness for 2 decades for well longer than that, but 2 days on a pro level, 2 decades on a pro level is crazy. But as far as this, even when he came to like my squad, I wasn't like necessarily fanned out. I'm a fan of Bron, but like I'm not like how I was with Kobe or how a lot of Bron fans are. Like it's to a point where I'm like, bro, what like it's crazy. Like they get delusional at times because it's always a premise of Brian, like two goats can exist at the same time. You don't have to say like definitively, okay, Jordan, there is nothing that Brian can do that Jordan can't, or vice versa, or he can never surpass him, and this, that, and the third. Is this really what's your cup of tea? So, but as far as like the younger talent in the league, I'm a huge fan of Anthony Edwards, Tyrese Halliburton, a dog, crazy shot. That motherfucker go in. But he's like I seen him play last season when Lakers had Russ and a few games before Brown broke the scoring record. They were in Indiana and I had went there for my bachelor weekend, and that boy is dog, a dog. He remind me a lot of Penny. Like he's always pushing the ball. He's a true PG. Him and Luca are true PGs, and like it's just that's something that the game has missed as far as its true leadership with like the ball, somebody that can run the offense up and down the court. That shit is that's extremely vital to just getting a team to where you want them to be at. But yeah, to kind of wrap this topic up as far as just the current state, I think the current state of the NBA again is more entertainment based than um more like how like it was in like the early 2000s and 90s. Like I feel like that was more predicated to the essence of the sport. It's not necessarily sport based. It's a sport, but it's not sport based. If that makes sense. But hopefully that changes. Hopefully whatever however long this takes, maybe a decade where like eventually the NBA would be worth I'm not sure the actual dollar amount, but I'm pretty sure it's in like the low billions, which is crazy to say. The low billions is crazy, but maybe they'll get up to worth, I don't know, like 500 billion to like $1 trillion, and then they kind of go back to um hey, let's get back to the essence of what this sport is all about. So yeah, that's that. So move on to the next topic. Okay, I'm gonna go with first person versus third person point of view. Now, um, this is something that I've been thinking a lot about as far as this first person, third person, because it's a stoic quote. Where you are, there you are. Meaning you're gonna always be you, no matter what's going on. You're gonna always be you, whether somebody can see you or not. You're gonna always be you. That's pretty much what that quote means. But from my first person perspective, from my point of view, is very um neutral, but again, I can see how it can be biased, but I try to be a neutral level thinker. But sometimes I'm learning as I'm getting older, and as God is putting me through different situations as far as this how I'm reacting. Sometimes my perspective is not always the best perspective. The topic about 9 to 5s and stuff of that nature, and it just all these topics are first person based, because is my perspective, but is some truth to it. Is some universal truth to the things that like I feel. If I'm having a bad day at work because of said thing happening, I'm not the only person that has ever felt what I'm feeling. Um, but to kind of pivot to that third person like that third person perspective as far as this, I remember watching this video a few days ago, and this guy was like, because actually about first person and third person perspective, um, he was saying like if you picture somebody on a beach, or picture yourself on a beach, and from a third person perspective of just like, okay, you see every detail as far as you see how much sand, you see the sun more, from a different point of view and this and that third. But if you try to view it from a first person perspective, you're trying to remember everything. You're trying to, because it's your perspective, so you try to remember everything. You try to get, like, cherish the moment, and, like, but when you're seeing it from a different perspective, just like if you're watching uh uh a movie, like he made this point too. If you're watching like a scary movie, or some, us being the viewers, we're saying, hey, just run, just pick up the gun, like we have all these clear perspective because you're not the one going through it. We're seeing it from third person perspective, like, oh, you should just do this, because we're not actually under siege. We're not actually in the situation. So it's, the quote by Mike Tyson: everybody got a plan until like they get hit. And I'm starting to kind of learn that a lot about myself. As far as this, I won't necessarily say my plans always change when adversity hit, but when it's when it's in succession, or when it's combo, yeah, like, yeah, like you start feeling it. That's kind of human nature. That's a first person perspective, because you're actually in it. Like, can't nobody really take that perspective away into the perspective is taken away. If that makes sense. Like, once you see it through, then you have a third person perspective, because somebody coming behind you now, you kind of get that third person. Oh, hey, just like do this, woo woo. But as far as this being neutrally based upon these perspectives, just try to understand that everybody is not you. That's something that the world kind of really has lost touch with, because we kind of categorize the 1% of of what people are. Like, you look at a Tom Brady, you look at a Messi, look at a Leonardo, a Brian, a Kobe, et cetera, a Derek Jeter, whoever. We categorize, let's just say, the 100,000%, well, not percent, the 100,000 people, um, we categorize that as, oh, this is what everybody got. It makes sense, but everybody is not cut like that. Like, everybody can't have that perspective. Me personally, I feel like that's humanly possible, because if God wanted us to all think, act, walk, talk the same way, He would have done just that. We all have our own journey, so we can't put what pressure is to us upon others, because it's just not gonna work. It's just not, because it's just what I feel is heavy. You may not feel like, bro, man, hey, I didn't have woo woo happen, and yeah, why but again, that's a third person perspective. That's what you see now, that you have probably experienced that, or something greater than what I'm experiencing. You're looking at it from the outside looking in type shit. So, to kind of end this topic and pivot to the next topic, I feel as if, again, have a balanced perspective. Have Try to see it from both perspectives, if possible. You know, if possible. To kind of go back to what I just said, everybody's not gonna have your same perspective, but be coachable. Look to understand, then be understood. If you have that perspective, if you walk in the building, walk in the room, sit at the table with that perspective, like, okay, whatever these people are saying, I'm gonna allow both of my ears to hear these things. I'm gonna form a educated, mature, unbiased perspective of whatever said thing is, and we gonna go from there. We gonna learn together. You have that learn together mentality, you're good. You can always have compassion. You can always have empathy for others. But if you come in with perspectives that's like not necessarily, like, everybody don't believe in being humble. But if you come in it with like an arrogant, it's not that bad, like a condescending attitude, everybody don't play by the same rules as everybody. So you can't walk in a room feeling as if you saying these things is going to get kind of like received in a positive manner, because it may not. Again, everybody is not everybody. So that's kind of how I feel about that. To kind of go to the next topic, have a neutral perspective. Um, so, all right. Okay, next topic. Man, these these last three ones are very good ones. Let's just go with respected or feared. Respected or feared. I would rather be respected, most definitely, than feared, because fear, you would do a lot of things to people out of fear. Fear will limit your life completely, limit your perspective, limit a lot of things. It's just everything. So I would rather be respected, because when you're respected, people look at you differently. People talk to you differently. People are careful with what they say to you, but they're not. Excuse me. They're not in the realm of like, okay, if I say this to them, excuse me, if I say this to them, I'm in fearful of my life. Versus, I respect this person so much that if I say this, they're gonna respect what I'm saying, because I know this person enough, and I know that, okay, what I'm saying, they're gonna fully comprehend it versus like, okay, let me not say this because this is gonna happen, you know. So I would rather definitely be respected than feared. But feel free to comment what you think um is better to be respected or feared. That was a short topic. I should have probably say that for last, but it is what it is. All right, last two topics. Um, let's go with mental health. Mental health. Mental health, man. Um, last year, um, I got me a therapist. Um, she's amazing. Um, and she don't do nothing extraordinary. She don't put me to sleep. She don't draw pictures. You know, she take notes because you know by law that's what she got to do. And stuff of that nature. You know, just in case she get subpoenaed in the court because I did some outlandish shit type shit. But outside of that, she don't do nothing like spectacular. She just listens, and it's crazy how much you can get more mental stability and more mental fitness in when um people just listen, and especially from a standpoint of just somebody who at one point didn't know you, and that's their job to listen and evaluate others from an unbiased perspective. So finding a therapist, again, finding a therapist is extremely important. If you feel like you're under immense pressure, but I feel like anybody who's damn fucking with 16 through 100, you know, and experience like COVID and all those changes, seeing loved ones pass and stuff of that nature. Yeah, if you were a certain age in 2020 to like now, yeah, I would definitely advise you to get you a therapist because it's people that are dealing with stuff that they didn't know the world can like get this bad. That was they first kind of introduction into you know life. You know, having to wear masks. You know, this is my first job. I'm wearing a mask. You know, what's going on? Well, you know, this that, and third. So I would definitely advise getting a mental health therapist. But just in general, outside of therapy, surrounding yourself with like-minded people. I can't I can't stress that enough. And again, to you know, go back to the first topic for like a brief second, just because you know we're blood don't make us family. It's a lot of people that I have adopted or cousins that have been upgraded from cousin to sibling. You know, because we're like minded. You know, they have my best interests to help my mental health, to help my perspective. I have my sister cousin. Um, she really dropped some jewels on me when I was struggling a few days ago with my mental health and just help me fix my crown because I do consider if I had a pronoun outside of male, it would be king. Not to be arrogant or um cringy by her saying that, but she helped me fix my crown. You know, every king has a crown, but like it's just um she definitely put some stuff in my perspective to help me get better at you know seeing things because again like you know when you're always you feel as if it's always happening to you. You know it's a time and place for everything. And I just feel like when you go through, when you enter your time and place, again, going back to everybody got a plan until like they get hit, you kind of fall victim. You definitely do fall victim to said things. So having like-minded people to help you through your mental health stressors are extremely important. And lastly, just having a spiritual relationship. I know everybody don't, but believe in a higher power. Everybody, you know, those who do, but believe in God, um, call him by different names. Um, believe different things from said religion and stuff of that nature. So to each his own, but having a spiritual relationship, however you pray, how often you pray, having some form of spiritual fitness is man, that goes without saying. Those who just choose not to believe in anything, hats off to you. You know, like, cause I'm really not sure how that's sustainable. I would love to like hear how that's sustainable. But is this for like me? Things would have been a lot different. I probably wouldn't be talking right now if I didn't have that element of spiritual fitness to go along with my mental health to help my mental health. So those few things can really help your mental health. And if you don't have a relationship with God, or if you're on the fringe and stuff of that nature, one thing I can say is, because I don't necessarily have a church home. I spent a good portion of my teenage years, kind of going to church, a lot more than I did when I was younger. But I don't have a church home. I don't necessarily, even though I was baptized as a Baptist, I don't necessarily follow the the things that a Baptist does. So I wouldn't classify myself as a Baptist because I don't practice what a true Baptist practice. But I have a relationship. Experience God for yourself. Experience who He is. Study His Word, and we'll kind of talk about the Bible on like another episode and stuff of that nature. But study His Word. Know what His Word is. Say it again. Know what His Word is. Know when He's talking to you, because it makes sound like, I never heard God's voice. I'm not. God voice is very unique, and He speaks without speaking. He can use others to get His message across. That's what's so raw about God. You know, the creator is he's, man, nobody greater, definitely. But yeah, those are the things that can help your mental health. So I'm hoping something was said that um can bring light to your mental health, because we all are experiencing something. So hopefully something was said that sparked the mind. Lastly, our last topic before we wrap things up: the current state of the world. Man, um, man, that's crazy. That's a crazy topic because of the fact being this is such a broad statement, and this damn near can be a topic each episode, because it seems like it's something different every single day, from things going on in Russia with Ukraine and Israel and Gaza, and shit that's going on right in front of us in good old USA and stuff. And like, the current state of the world is very dismal, very chaotic, very helpless. It's very one sided. Um, ain't really one terminology that you can use to kind of describe the world in a nutshell. You can just probably say on fire. And some to some people, life is good, like, but to a lot of people, man, the vast majority, to kind of go back to the whole like the greatness thing I had said, like, we can't think everybody who pick up a basketball is great, because statistically speaking, it's a very small percent of actual greatness. You could be very good. You could be good. You could be very good, and you can just not be at a certain, like, be great at a professional level. But when you talk about the current state of the world, as far as this, it's great to a very small percentile, a very very small, and like it's almost like I wouldn't even want to be in that certain tax bracket. Like it's almost like, do you want to just be selfish, or do you want to be worldly, in a world of like ruins with everybody? So it's kind of like, and again, I do feel like financially nobody should ever see their account in a negative, but to kind of to go back to the point being is just being able to do things for like yourself versus doing it for like others is vastly important, because it's just the longer you sit and do for others, you miss doing for yourself. And yeah, you're supposed to be selfish in that aspect of like, okay, I've reached my limit, like here at said job. You can no longer pay me what I'm worth. You can no longer benefit me in a way that I'm able to maintain my life. As far as this, I don't have time for my wife, my children. I don't have time for myself. I'm overworked. I'm overpaid, etc., etc. We have reached our drop off point. So, with that being said, it's kind of the same thing with like wealth. Like, as far as this, like, going to reach a point to where I'm going to be rich into I leave this world, and everybody, at least 100 years of my name, you say, of a family is going to have this type of wealth. Nobody's waking up saying like, okay, I know this. No matter how much I spend, 100 years worth at best of people who have my last name are set. Motherfuckers not getting up saying, okay, let me just start just going to everybody mailbox in America and just putting 100,000. Nobody's thinking like that. Nobody like because why? Like that 1% has to stay at 1%. And again, I didn't find America. I don't make the rules. It is what the fuck it is. There's nothing that as a American citizen you can do. I wouldn't necessarily say always play by the rules. You do that as your discretion. But if said thing is found out that you breaking these rules, it's gonna be held to pay the captain. It's gonna be held to pay the captain. So it's just in that aspect, that's how people and or said things balance, because 1% holds the greater percent of that that belt, that switch, whatever, to keep the motherfuckers who um are dealing, feeling the brunt of it the most in check. That's like, for like example, if you was to put, let's just say, 10 World War II soldiers against 100,000 Civil War soldiers, and they, had the meeting point on the battlefield. It's 10 of them, 100,000 of them, and the World War II soldiers got MG 42s, which is light machine guns. If you don't know what that is, look it up. If they have light machine guns, but they have infinite ammunition, and they have people feeding them ammo, those Civil War soldiers are not gonna stand a chance. I don't care how much they ready aim. But by the time they say ready, like it's over with. It's over with, because the rate of fire is so much greater coming from these 10. They're severely outnumbered, but because they have more firepower, they may be limited in their bodies, but they are vastly greater with the rate of fire. So it don't matter the strength in numbers when you have a greater strength than their numbers. So with that being said, it's just like, it's difficult to really put a terminology on the world, because the 1% of people from around the world, not just this country, but from around the world, are living their best life on the back of people, and where I'm at with it, as far as it's not being able to eat every day. People who are living in tents, or are they see in their account negative $1,000 or negative $500 in the in a negative and they're going to work every day, or they have two incomes, but it just so happened that, hey man, um, we get paid every 2 weeks instead of every week, or seeing um people just surrendering their morals and values, and doing said things for clout or for attention, whatever that may be, because they want to get in that 1% club so bad that they would rather, okay, look let me be egregious to like God, and this is my perspective. Let me be egregious to a God, but be enjoyable to the world. And people wake up. People right now are saying, I would rather be loved by the world than be loved by my creator. This is just my perspective. Again, I know like everybody don't, but believe in God. Somebody might be, "Hey, man, I need to get it now." Okay, by all means, by all means, because that's the difference between you and I and you and everybody else. We all have our own destiny. So if you choose to abandon it, or to elevate it, or to not even recognize it, that's the beauty of God. Even you not acknowledging that there is a higher being, that's the beauty of of God. And to kind of bring what I said with the mental health into the current state of the world, it's really not enough God within the world too. And again, and I'm gonna keep saying this whenever I bring up God, because I know some viewer may be on their last rope, on like their last straw with, like, God, and you know um we didn't seen this happen, and they try to just categorize God as being, if he didn't fix this situation, he don't exist, or if he didn't do this for me, he don't exist, he don't love me, or he just not this, that, and the third. And my point of view upon that is, when you didn't know no better, when you chose to say certain things and do certain things, he still granted you another day of life. And you have to realize that whether we are the Hitlers of the world, or the Gandhis, or we the Osamas or the Obamas of the world, we're all God's children. Rather you want to accept that reality, we are all creations, we are all tools, we are all products of the master's hand. So with that being said, is if he didn't punish you immediately for doing lesser things, what makes you think that, again, in this spectrum, and in this perception of we are all his children, we're all, works of the master's hand, like and some people may find this morbid, or like a, a egregious. He God may have signed off on whoever doing said things, and that's why, like it's written, don't lead on your own understanding, or just because God allow it to us, it don't necessarily make it right, but it's a purpose for it, and he may it may be something deeper than that. Like, I was talking to my mother-in-law about this same topic when we talking about the world and just stuff in general. And like I had said that, as far as this, just the fact being how certain things happen, and you know, we don't we can't explain it. And I just feel like God would allow you to hang yourself. He will allow you to curse your whole generation, your whole namesake, to make a point. So if you choose to be a tyrant and cause mass genocide of said um culture or said race, you have to answer to that. You have to. Like, there is no, I'm gonna just do this, and this being, all will be well. If you think that, more power to you. But I feel like everything that you do, you have to answer for, whether it was intentional whether it was done in uh a not knowing manner. That's what's so special about God. Because I'm not saying he gonna, I can't say what God would do, but like it's just the fact being like I feel like we have to answer to it. You know, maybe he'll sit us down and explain it when it's all said and done. But until such time, I'm gonna go with the belief that you know we have to answer for these things. So I don't feel like nothing that he allowed to happen is he is not gonna address it. I'm gonna allow you to do these things, but when you come back home, we gonna talk, and it's gonna be very one sided because you know better. So that's the kind of summarize the current state of the world is on fire, but to kind of give you some silver lining. Again, have a, a spiritual relationship, um, and just be the best version of like yourself. Because things are gonna happen. It's things that's out of your control. So just be the best version of your yourself. Learn the purpose of your pain. And I know that's easier said than done. Again, I try to have a neutral perspective. I'm not trying to say, oh, your pain ain't. Nah, feel your pain, understand your pain, but know you have to get up and figure it out. Like no matter how long that take you, as long as you have in your mind, okay, hey, I'm gonna spend 7 days feeling this pain. If you feel like that's a ample amount of time to feel what you feeling, by all means. But then after those 7 days, on that eighth day, okay, what we doing? What we doing? Like so is as long as you have that mentality, you gonna always win. But shit is gonna happen. Things are gonna be out of your control. But as long as you have that mentality of just like, man, I'm gonna just thug it out no matter what, you gonna see progress. Um, yeah. So that was the 7 topics. To kind of recap, as I end the episode, I'm truly blessed to be able to do this, man. If only you knew what I've been through, and to get to where I'm at right now, it's something to write about. It's something to kind of just really salute, and I just pray something was said, man, that like can get you through like your week. Um, no matter what your account looking like, no matter what somebody said to you at work, no matter what you know, whatever dynamic you and your spouse or your significant other is having. I want you guys to take away from each episode to just remain engaged on the task at hand. Allow things to be put in their proper place as far as perspective, as far as things that are secondary and primary. Put things in their proper perspective and in their proper place, and you will see a lot of things change. It's things that's going to happen that's completely out of your control, whether it's car failure, financial hiccups, whatever the case may be. Nobody said that this would be easy. And I know, speaking for myself, sometimes we kind of get caught up and we just want things to be sustainable. But who said things can be that way? Things are only sustainable for a short period of time. For the vast majority of us, some people may have heard that like shit. Not for me. Okay, cool. That's you. But from most people's perspective, it's only sustainable for a short period of time, and then God kind of shakes the pot, gets you out of your comfort zone, to get you to your next blessing. So whatever you're experiencing, whatever you're going through, always remember your lesson is tied to your blessing. So get through your lesson, see it through, no matter what it is. Have people around you that love you unconditionally, that love you despite of whatever you have said, done, and that has reprimanded you, corrected you, and you guys have moved on and said thing has not happened again. Allow these people to love you unconditionally, Don't let your job stretch you out. Don't let whatever's going on across the pond or across the pond from your house. Whatever is going on, as long as it's not physically touching you, as long as it's not physically disrupting what you got going on in the confines of your said space and stuff of that nature, don't worry about it. Things have to exist. Things have to play itself out. So that's something that I'm learning day in, day out. Stuff is going to happen out of your control. So yeah, I just hope something was said to give motivation for the week, motivation for the year, motivation for forever, for a lifetime, man. So yeah, man, this is Ray Dot. Oh, I didn't even introduce myself. That's crazy, but I was so excited. But I go by Ray Dot, aka Scotty Two Dotty, aka Mr. Make You Move Your Body. And this has been the first episode of, God willing, many, 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 many episodes of the Dotted Line Podcast. Again, I hope something was said to bring enthusiasm, life, joy, whatever you need to your life. So until next time, this is Ray Dot, aka DJ Sky Two Dotty, aka Mr. Make You Move Your Body, signing off. Until next time.